What's happening, guys? This is Nunu from Neogoma, and today I just want to go through a little bit of a tutorial on how to save and load metadata from your object at runtime using the Stardust SDK. So this can be really useful in different scenarios. Let's say, for example, that you want to leave a note in a specific location and then you want someone else to relocate and see what you left on that note. And for that, we're going to go through the sample project. We're also going to go through a little bit of the basic setup of the SDK. And yeah, just tag along. It should be pretty easy.
Alright, so first things first, we got to go into the Stardust SDK repository. I'll leave a link down in the description for you guys to just jump in and grab the zip file. I already downloaded it, and we're going to go into Unity and open up the project. So right here, I've already went ahead and prepared a tutorial folder with everything that you're going to need. I'm also going to put this in a repository for you guys so that you can follow along, or that you just want to use it. It's going to be available in the link in the description as well. Alright, so in our case, I've already prepared a object. And in this prefab, you already have an image, a text field, and also a editor, so that we can edit the text that goes in here through an input field. It's fairly simple. If I show you, as you can see, it has a very simple UI that just a cross to leave, a save button, and the input field that basically triggers your keyboard, and you can write in here. And once you hit save, it then saves the text onto the letter itself, onto the note that we want to edit. So if I close that and I zoom in, this is the game object that where we're going to save and load the metadata for the note. So in our case, if we edit the note and then hit the save button, that data should be saved inside the metadata for this specific object. And I'm going to show you that in a minute. So first things first, in the project that we have, so we're gonna don't need this anymore. We are going to need to change the bundle holder. So for you guys, you're gonna have another prefab here, which is the default bundle holder, and we're going to create another one on top. So for that, I've created the bundle holder based on the other one with a custom script also based on the default bundle displayer script. And it's fairly trivial. We just add a few things on top of the existing script and create a new prefab with it, and we just attach it to the bundle holder reference that we have on the object controller for the Stardust components. Also very important, do not forget to use your API key, otherwise you won't be able to gather any maps or objects from the online editor where you're going to put the object later. When you download the sample project of the Stardust SDK, you've got 4 main scenes that you're going to be working with. The first one is the mapper scene. Here we handle the mapping of a new location or new area. Then you've got the relocate update scene, where we handle the relocation of a downloaded map. So you select the map that you want to relocate in. Then you've got the selection scene, which is basically just a main menu. Then you've got the updater scene that just handles updating a map that already exists. In our case, we're just going to be focusing on the relocate and update scene. Here, we'll just add a few lines of code and change a few things in order to get the metadata to save onto the object that we load into the scene. So first things first, we gotta go and do some safekeeping. So we will duplicate the prefab that comes with the Stardust SDK and duplicate the script for the bundle displayer example script. So in order to do that, you just come into the prefab folder in the Stardust SDK and you duplicate the bundle holder. There you're going to find the bundle displayer example. And if you click on that, you're going to find the script right here, and you can duplicate that as well. So I've already done that, and if you come here, you've got the Christmas letter bundle holder, which is can be our custom bundle holder, with the custom bundle displayer, which is already a duplicate of the other bundle displayer as well. So if we go now into the custom bundle displayer code, you can find that we are actually inheriting from the abstract bundle displayer class, and we've got a bunch of methods that come with it. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be creating the init object method, and this method is going to be called once the object is loaded, and it's basically going to be our communication point with the object so that we can actually load the metadata and change the text on the letter. So since not all of the objects we want to find are a letter or contain a letter controller component, we have to check from all the children if they do have that component, and if they do, then we can load the text. So call the load text method and pass in the persistent object to it. So let's check out the letter controller component and see what it does in there. Okay, so this class is responsible for the logic within the object, and that's why we have the references to the text, the input field, and also the editor canvas, in this case just the menu that we're going to be opening and closing. And in order to do that, we're just going to have some simple methods, which are the open editor and the close editor, that simply just set active true or false when we click the buttons in order to open it or close it. Then you have the save text method that gets called when we click the save text button, and that one will change the text on the letter based on what we've edited on the editor, and it will then check if we have the current persistent object, if it's not null, and if it's not null, then we can change the metadata inside it with the string that it's on the letter text. So pretty straightforward. After we've changed that, we can now save the model and call the save model method from the object controller and just simply pass the persistent object that now has the changed metadata, and that way the string from the letter is going to be saved directly on the object itself. Which is pretty cool, because when we are loading the text, the only thing that we need to do is check if the metadata is not null, and in case it's not, then we just change the letter text for the current persistent object metadata string. If it is null, we change the letter text to something that the user recognizes, which is something like write something here or some kind of default text. Then regarding the commented code, this is just because you're not just limited to saving a string onto the metadata, you can also save a bunch of other variables. The only thing they have to do is parse it onto a JSON so that you can actually save the string onto the current persistent object. So regarding the commented code, since the metadata is a string and it only takes a string, we have to parse in a JSON file in order to save other types of variables, so that we're not just restricted to saving a string. And in order to do that, let's say for example that we want to save a color as well, we would do a object data class, so we would have to uncomment this down here, create a reference in the letter controller, and then we would be able to right here just replace this for the metadata. Exactly. So we would change the object data description for something of our liking, change the object data color for something, let's say like red, and then we would have to create a string, and for that we would use JSON utility to JSON and pass in the class that we want to turn into a JSON string. Then we would just come in to the current persistent object and pass in the meta string that would contain all of this information. So when we're loading text, the same would have to happen, just exactly the opposite. If I uncomment that, we would have to create an object data and use the JSON utility, but in this case from JSON. So we would pass in the type and the string that we want to create an object with. So the only thing left is then to change, for example, the color with the object data color. This can be an image color or like a material color, doesn't really matter. And then the letter text we would change with the current, not the current persistent object, but with the object data. Dot description. Exactly. And yeah, that's pretty much it. all we would have to do now is to bundle up the prefab. And in order to do that, you have to have the asset bundle browser. This is currently deprecated, and we're actually working on revamping the online editor so that it doesn't rely on deprecated technology, and is also a little bit more user-friendly, has a lot more other features, but that's still in the works. So in order to build, you just go in here, File, Build Settings, and Build and Run. I already have mine built. We hit Relocate, choose the map that I want to relocate in. I relocate, takes a few seconds, but as you can see, the UI is a bit different. That's because this is the sample project and not the official application. This way you can do whatever you want and just play around with it. So what I'm gonna do is write another message. So I'm gonna write something else. I'm gonna do Merry Christmas, everyone. So I hit save, I close out, there we go. And if we close out, then we relocate again. We come back in, hit the button, takes 2 or 3 seconds, and there we go. All right, so our letter is now persistent, and we can just change it on the fly. Cool. All right, so make sure to subscribe and leave a like down below, guys. It really helps us. And also remember to leave a comment on other ideas for tutorials that you might want, because yeah, we're gonna keep doing these for different topics regarding the Stardust SDK. And yeah, it would be really great to have you guys as input on what you want to see next. Have a Merry Christmas and a Jolly New Year, everyone. And I'll catch you on the next one.